Hey, this is Donovan for Donovan Watches Movies. I'm almost finished with my year in advance Oscar predictions for 2017. Even in this early stage, some things have already changed since I started doing these predictions. So I'll close out my year in advance predictions with a video with my revised picks, not going through every single little thing like I have with my other videos, just something that refreshes my actual predictions. So anyway, we're at, of course, the big category, Best Picture. Keep in mind, and I haven't been saying this in a lot of my other videos, so apologies about that, these are films that have been confirmed for US distribution and are more or less expected to hit theaters by the end of the year. And I'm thinking we're going to have maybe 9 nominees this year. I found it really difficult to whittle it down, which makes me think that Passion is going to be going in a lot of different places just like it has over the last couple years, particularly 2016. But with this system of anywhere from 5 to 10 nominees, we have yet to have 10 nominees. And just missing out, I think, will be Kenneth Branagh's Murder on the Orient Express. I think this is a shoo-in for a Golden Globe nomination in whatever category it's in. I think they may try to push it as a musical comedy, depending on the tone of the film, I'm not sure. And I think this is an absolute obvious for the SAG Ensemble nomination. But I think something like this, it just may not have the passion to push it through to the actual nomination. So, going to my Best Picture nomination predictions. Number 9, Blade Runner 2049. Now, in the time since I've started this, I have gone back and forth on Blade Runner 2049. I initially projected this to be like a top 5 film, but with my insistence that Jordan Peele's Get Out will be an Oscar thing, and with the news about Steven Spielberg's The Post, I am not as sure about this one as I was before. And that was just within the last couple weeks. But I do think there will be enough support for this to get a lower tier Best Picture nomination. I think Denis Villeneuve's helming certainly helps, and Ryan Gosling is coming off La La Land, Harrison Ford is a legend. Warner Brothers is in charge of this one, and they also have Dunkirk. So maybe Blade Runner 2049 doesn't really get much of a push. We'll have to wait and see. Number 8, Mary Magdalene. Weinstein has the film set for its November slot, which worked really well for movies like The Imitation Game in 2014, The King's Speech in 2010, and Lion just this past year. Speaking of Lion, this is from the same director, Garth Davis. This film centers on the biblical figure Mary Magdalene, who in the Bible and generally throughout conservative Christianity is depicted as having been a sinner who changed her ways to follow Jesus. I'm not saying we won't get that with this movie, but I imagine there's going to be something more there, something a little less cut and dry. Rooney Mara leads this film as Mary Magdalene, and Joaquin Phoenix plays Jesus. But the Weinstein Company could of course move things around. I mean, remember what happened with John Lee Hancock's The Founder? The distributor has the current war with Benedict Cumberbatch currently slated for a late December release, but if that film ends up being his main Oscar ticket, he could probably switch that with Mary Magdalene, and then it would be a different situation completely. Number 7, Call Me By Your Name. Sony Pictures Classics picked up this gay love story before it premiered at Sundance to really strong reviews. I think this is at least a lower tier Best Picture nomination. I have a feeling a lot of the really big critics groups are going to go for it. Number 6, Catherine Bigelow's Untitled Film about the Detroit riots. Annapurna Pictures is in charge of this one. Bigelow, of course, won big with The Hurt Locker in 2009 and returned in 2012 with Zero Dark 30. This film's timely theme of citizens uprising against the forces that are meant to protect them seems like it could resonate for some very obvious reasons. Number 5, Get Out. Now, of course, this depends on Universal really pushing for this, and that's a really big question mark. But consider how many glass ceilings this movie has broken through already. I can imagine that Universal wouldn't mind putting out a huge campaign for it. The genre factor could hurt it, but I think the social commentary aspect of it, which is what makes the movie so strong, will really help it stand out from, a standard horror movie that doesn't really directly make such statements. Number 4, The Leisure Seeker. This drama from Paulo Virzi centers on an elderly couple that decides to take a road trip as sort of one last big adventure before they no longer can. And it sounds a little overly sentimental, but I think that's what's gonna work. I'm looking at the movies that I'm predicting for Best Picture nominations, and a lot of them are really either cynical or very timely of the moment, and I think something that's really big on sentiment will get in, and The Leisure Seeker seems like the best fit for that. Plus Helen Mirren and Donald Sutherland star, and I think the latter will finally win an Oscar for it. Number 3, Mother. I'm talking about this one. I don't even know how words work anymore, oh my god. I've discussed this one in nauseam. It is a Darren Aronofsky pick, and I think this sounds like his most accessible film, at least as far as the Academy goes. Having Jennifer Lawrence lead your film certainly doesn't hurt, and I think this will be a huge comeback for Michelle Pfeiffer, who I am currently predicting to win Supporting Actress. Number 2, Dunkirk. Christopher Nolan and World War II sounds like something Oscar's going to go for in a really big way. The director's branch has never truly embraced him. At least to our knowledge, he could have been like number 6 for both The Dark Knight and Inception, we'll never know. And I said this in my video accounting for my year in advance predictions for Best Director, but I think that whenever the director's branch of the Academy decides to recognize Nolan, that he will win simply because he's been perceived as snubbed for movies like The Dark Knight and Inception. And some people would probably say Interstellar and Memento. So he has that going for him, and the World War II thing, of course, as well. But that's talking about Best Director and not Best Picture. And I think there's just one movie that's really going to hit all the right buttons for a lot of people. Number 1, The Post. As soon as we found out this movie was going to hit theaters in 2017, or that at least they were fast-tracking it to hit theaters this year, it just felt like a sure thing, even in March. The story is about something that happened in the 1970s, about a publication trying to publish documents that the public wanted, the public, needed for the purpose of their government being transparent. And that was more than 40 years ago, but it's all circling back. It's actually relevant to right now. And in addition to that, you have Steven Spielberg directing with Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks anchoring the film. So it's difficult to deny the film right now. So those are the films that I am predicting for Best Picture nominations as of March 18th. And just to recap in alphabetical order, those films are Blade Runner 2049, Call Me By Your Name, Dunkirk, Get Out, The Leisure Seeker, Mary Magdalene, Mother, The Post, Catherine Bigelow's Untitled Film about the Detroit riots. So over the next week or so, I'll have a couple more videos in this Year in Advance series. One of those videos will focus on films that probably won't contend for major awards, but should show up in some of the below-the-line categories like production design, costume design, and original song. Another video I have planned, as I mentioned in this video and a couple other ones, will center on movies that are not yet confirmed for US distribution that could shake up the Oscar race if they are picked up. And there's one major category I haven't gone over yet because I wanted to save the best for last. Thank you so much for watching this video. Go ahead and click like if you like this video and subscribe if you would like to see more videos from me. More Oscar stuff for right now, more Oscar stuff throughout the year, some soundtrack reviews, hopefully some more film reviews and video essays too. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye!